All right, let's talk about a fish you've probably seen a million times, but maybe never really seen. I'm talking about the humble Atlantic herring. It's tiny, it's silvery, and well, it's hiding a pretty incredible secret. It's one of the most powerful superfoods in the entire ocean.
So think about this for a second. What if the answer to getting affordable, sustainable, and crazy-dense nutrition wasn't some exotic berry from a remote mountaintop, but a fish that's been a staple for literally thousands of years?
Okay, let's just jump straight to the mind-blowing numbers. A single 4-ounce serving of Atlantic herring gives you an incredible 726% of your daily value of those essential omega-3s, EPA and DHA. You know, the ones your brain and heart are crying out for. And no, that is not a typo. It's a phenomenal amount that puts this little fish in a league of its own.
And it doesn't stop there, not even close. In that same serving, you also get 655% of your daily value for vitamin B12, which is absolutely vital for your energy. We're talking about a level of nutrient density in one small fish that is just, well, it's completely off the charts.
So how do we even measure all this nutritional firepower? Well, this number is the Nutrivore score for Atlantic herring. It's basically a scientific grade for how much nutrition you get per calorie. And with a score of 996 out of 1,000, it's officially one of the most nutrient-packed foods on the planet. Period.
Okay, so we've got these amazing numbers, right? But what does that actually mean for your body? Let's go beyond the percentages and break down the real-world health benefits hiding inside this fish. So here they are, the key players that make herring such a powerhouse. You can see the heavy hitters we just talked about, omega-3s and B12, they clearly dominate. But you've also got significant amounts of selenium, high-quality protein, and vitamin D. And every single one of these has a really important job to do. Let's zoom in on those omega-3s, because this isn't just some vague, good-for-you thing. We are talking about tangible benefits, like reducing the kind of chronic inflammation that causes disease, actively improving your heart health, and providing the literal building blocks for your brain. That's huge.
And the list just keeps going. That vitamin B12 is essential for your energy and nervous system. Selenium acts like a bodyguard for your cells, a powerful antioxidant. And then you have vitamin D, so crucial for bones and immune health, which is actually really hard to find in food. Well, herring is one of the few natural sources. Now, I know what you might be thinking. What about mercury? It's a valid concern with a lot of seafood. But this is another area where herring just shines. Because it's a small fish, low on the food chain, it doesn't accumulate high levels of mercury. This makes it a really clean, safe choice for pretty much everyone.
You know, herring's story goes way beyond just modern nutrition. This is the fish that earned the nickname Silver of the Sea because of its immense value throughout human history. Let's take a step back and see how this small fish had such a massive impact on the world. Just let that sink in for a second. Not one of the most important, but the most important. This isn't just hyperbole. For centuries, the economies of entire nations literally rose and fell with the herring catch.
Its role as a staple food goes back at least 5,000 years. Then, in the Middle Ages, the herring trade was so massive, it literally built great European cities like Amsterdam and Copenhagen. And fast forward to today, it's still a massive $9.5 billion global industry. Its importance is as relevant as ever.
So herring really has this dual identity. In the ocean, it's an ecological keystone. It's the engine that converts tiny plankton into a food source for the entire ecosystem. For humans, though, it's an economic engine, fueling fisheries and providing food for millions. It's this amazing link between the health of the ocean and the health of our economy.
So, it's a nutritional titan and a historical heavyweight. But how do you actually get this hero onto your plate? Let's get practical.
You've probably heard the term kippers, right? Well, here's what it actually means. It's just a specific way of preparing herring. They're split open, salted, and then cold smoked. It's a classic way to preserve the fish, and it's a huge part of British cuisine, especially for breakfast.
Now, how it's prepared makes a really big difference. Fresh herring gets you that near-perfect Nutrivore score of 996 with low sodium. Kippered or smoked versions are still incredibly nutritious, but you can see the sodium goes up a lot. And pickled herring, the nutritional score drops quite a bit, and the sodium is through the roof. So the takeaway is pretty clear. Fresh is best, but if you go for the preserved kinds, just be mindful of the salt.
So where does all this leave us? We've talked health, we've talked history, but let's turn our eyes to the future. In a world that's getting more and more focused on sustainability, herring might just be the perfect fish for our times.
And here's why it's such a future-proof choice. Herring are super abundant and they grow quickly, which means their populations can replenish themselves fast. Being low on the food chain makes them an efficient food source and keeps them clean from toxins. And maybe most importantly, their official conservation status is least concern, with populations actually on the rise. That's fantastic news.
And the world is definitely taking notice. The global market for herring isn't just stable, it's projected to grow steadily. And this makes perfect sense, right? It reflects a rising demand for seafood that's affordable, healthy, and sustainable. A niche that herring fills perfectly.
So look, if you remember just one thing from all this, let it be this. In a single, tiny package, herring offers affordability, sustainability, and a level of nutrient density that very few other foods on Earth can even come close to matching. It really is the complete package.
Which brings us right back to where we started. As we all search for these complex, high-tech solutions for our health and the health of our planet, maybe, just maybe, one of the best answers has been swimming right in front of us all along.